Is it safe to have sex after a heart attack? I am Dr. Sonjia, your sex educator, and today we are talking about heart attacks and sex because this is the number one concern facing most people who have suffered a heart attack. And that's a lot of people. Did you know that every year about 735,000 Americans have heart attacks? And heart attacks can be very scary. Sometimes they even scare people out of having sex for the rest of their lives. But guess what? The whole no nooky after a heart attack? Well, this is actually a myth. And let me tell you, it is a myth that is perpetuated way too often. In fact, there is absolutely no physiological evidence as to why a person who has had a heart attack cannot have sex. But before you go banging down the bedroom door, it is super important for patients who have had a heart attack to talk to their doctor about their specific sexual situation. Because we know how you do, boo. And right after a heart attack, well, that may not be the best time to strap yourself into that sex swing. But when patients aren't counseled about sex after a heart attack, and many are not, a lot of people just assume that sex is off the table. And then that myth about no sex after a heart attack continues. Well, I am here to tell you that heart attack survivors need loving too. So today's show is all about putting sex back on the table or the bed or wherever else you want it to be. And guess what? Stroke survivors also want to know if it's safe to have sex. And it just so happens that right now I'm conducting a study to prevent secondary strokes among people who have survived their first stroke. And I cannot tell you how many of my patients want to know if and when it's safe to have sex again. And their spouses want to know about it too. So today's episode is especially for all of my patients, and of course it's for you. We're gonna have to talk about the ladies because ladies should always come first. Now, according to the American Heart Association, 1 in 3 women die of heart disease each year, killing approximately 1 woman every minute. Dang, we have got to take better care of ourselves, ladies. Now, you know that so many causes of heart disease and stroke have to do with lifestyle. And if you want some luscious loving in your life, you need to stop smoking, start exercising, maintain a healthy weight, and smile more often, because that makes you sexier. But I know what you're asking. Can you have sex after a heart attack? Well, the truth is, unless you're a fit and freaky college student, your style of sex is probably no more strenuous than regular household activities, climbing a few flights of stairs, or going on a brisk 4 to 5 block walk. In fact, arguing with your partner is probably a lot more stressful on your heart than sex. But you do need to be smart about it, and the American Heart Association says the rule of thumb is do not, you heard me, do not resume sex without consulting your cardiologist. Duh! And if you are able to climb 2 flights of stairs, then guess what? You're probably good to go, girl. Now I know many people are still not convinced because a lot of activities seem scary after a heart attack. I totally get that. And so does your doctor. And when you talk to your doctor, they'll probably give you a stress test to make sure you're ready for romance. So what happens during a stress test, you're wondering? Well, during a stress test, you'll work out on a treadmill or a stationary bike while your doctor measures how well your heart keeps up with your body. This will help you see firsthand what your heart can do, and hopefully it'll also help you feel more confident when you're getting your groove back in the bedroom. You might want to also think about bringing your spouse or partner along so that they also feel comfortable and can raise any questions with the doctor. Typically, your doctor will prescribe some type of cardiotherapy treatment, which can also be used as a fitness check for sex. Hey, I think we should all get a fitness check for sex, right? And I think it should include some mental health assessments too, because Lord knows not everyone is mentally fit for a sexual relationship. The sex situation we're dealing with today So the key here is being open with your doctor when you ask about resuming sex after a heart attack. They know you're human and they know you're hot. So put on some sneakers, hop on that treadmill, and show your doc what you got. But for real, no, seriously, do not be afraid to be your own health advocate and ask your various doctors those very hard questions. Remember, they're getting paid a handsome salary to do this job. And the best news is that most sex problems experienced by heart attack survivors, like decreased sexual response or impotence, well, they're often due to the lack of information or just fear of another heart attack. And those fears may be completely unfounded. But you know what? They're totally understandable. But now you got the facts, so you're ready to get your freaky on. But before you jump all the way in, doctors do usually recommend taking it slow. You heard? Slow. Slow. The doctors recommend taking it slow. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it could be quite a sexy thing. You could turn this into an exciting time to start dating again and work your way through the basics of sex. Remember high school on your mama's couch before she came home from work? Yes, you heard me. Take it on back to the basics. Start by making out one day after a date. And then maybe you move on to a romantic massage after the next date. Let your man get a little lucky and fill you up. Now you're on your way to resuming your sex life. But remember, now is not the time to get too fancy, Miss Thing. Begin regular intercourse at home and try to stick with just one partner, because different places or new partners, well, that can add stress, which is not good for sexual pleasure. And more importantly, it's not good for your heart's health. Some experts also advise avoiding a heavy meal or alcohol before sex, because both can affect blood flow, and alcohol can sometimes cause you to be a bit anxious as well. Now, typically, within 2 to 3 months, those that have suffered a heart attack can resume a healthy and happy sex life. But you're a unique and special individual, and so you're going to check out all of this information with your unique and special doctor who loves keeping you healthy. Now, Dr. Sonjia says, dating, well, this is the key to keeping the flames of love lit while you're getting back on track in the bedroom. When you sexually stimulate your brain, your body naturally responds. I focused a lot of this episode on women because so much information on heart disease and heart attacks is directed towards men. But you know I gotta give the guys a little loving before we go. And the truth is, more than half of all heart attacks occur among men. And when it comes to sex after a heart attack, men who are taking erectile dysfunction medication, well, they have to be a little careful because mixing those two types of medications can sometimes be a dangerous combination. When you combine nitrate drugs, which are used to treat heart pain, with erectile dysfunction medication, the results can even be deadly. But there's many other options. Erection injections can be used instead of nitrates, and sex scientists seem to always be developing a new drug to help men do the deed better. So if you are a man who has suffered from a heart attack and also has erectile dysfunction, do yourself a favor and talk to your doctor about options for achieving erections. Now, the last thing I'm gonna say is chill out, relax, tranquilo, amigo. Your chances of a heart attack during sex are very, very small. Well, unless you're cheating. Did you know that men who are cheating, well, they're a little more likely to have a heart attack during sex than the faithful guys? Apparently, cheating on your lady causes a lot of stress. But you know what? Even cheaters deserve to live. So, if you do have chest pain or notice your heart beating irregularly during sex or at any other time, please notify your doctor immediately and get yourself checked out as soon as possible. Sex is an important part of life, and healthy romantic relationships can make you and your heart healthier. Now let's review the rules for romance after a heart attack. First, you're going to talk to your doctor about resuming sex. And you're going to be committed to taking your medication and making those important lifestyle changes that are going to keep your heart and your sex life in great shape. You're also going to get a stress test and see how much action your heart can handle. Are you able to climb 2 flights of stairs? And you are also going to take it slow. Start with making out and sensual massages. Relax, be confident, and enjoy the ride. Thanks so much for spending this time with me. You made my heart feel so good, and I hope I made yours skip a beat. I'm Dr. Sonjia, and I can't wait to see you next time at Sex in South Beach, where everybody comes for healthier, happier sex.
The information provided in this video is for your education and entertainment and should not be used as a substitute for medical advice. Before taking any medications or making any changes to your health behaviors, talk to your doctor. And today's homework is go to sexinsouthbeach.com, join the VIP list for your daily dose of nooky knowledge. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and link up with me on social media. For better sex tonight, pick up my book at Amazon.com, and you don't want to miss the Sex in South Beach podcast on iTunes and sexinsouthbeach.com, where everyone comes to learn about sex.